ICR.
Hello, everyone. It's that time on a Friday. It's noon. It's Sports on the Fly. Ken and special guest Lou today. We're just bringing you everybody here, Ken.
Oh yeah, it's a maniac crew in the studio today. We got Lou Dallow, the head commander, right? Can we give you that title of the Maroon Maniacs?
I'll take it.
Yeah, you're gonna take it. You're gonna run with it, and then. So we've got a lot of stuff on the docket today, including, and we got to start with Jordan Spieth, Masters champion. Lou, give us the rundown.
I love how his caddy is a math teacher.
Did you look that up before you came here?
No, not at all. It was actually a headline on Bleacher Report. That's what makes sports fun. Because random things like this happen. You have Tiger Woods and Nicholson. Tiger Woods was, the person who was very attractive in school, and we just don't know what happened to him.
Yeah. You know what happened to him? You know what happened to him? He found himself in bed with a few good-looking women.
Well, he got very single.
Who were
very
not his
fast,
wife.
Yeah. And he had a lot of fun with that. And
yeah.
Then, you always have those guys who you just think are going to win. Yeah, like your Rory McIlroys, they just never do. And then some, guy out of the woodworks with a math teacher ends up winning with a remarkable score. I believe 18 under?
I think so, yeah. But is that not even tied with your attractive high school student Tiger Woods?
Really?
For lowest score ever in a Masters.
Yeah.
But we just wanted to throw you the golf cart ball early on. Now we can talk Olympics.
I know. No, I don't want Olympics.
All right, Lou, tell me.
Ian.
Next Olympics, 2016. Next summer.
We're going to Brazil, right?
Brazil.
Yeah. Rio de Janeiro, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
Who do you like in the women's long jump?
Ian, how do you feel if the Olympics is in Brazil? What are your thoughts on that?
Wait, is it in the same spot where they had the World Cup?
Yep.
Really?
How do you feel about that, Ian?
You know how many people were displaced?
Yeah, Ian, how do you feel about that?
Yeah, Ian.
Brazil has a very high unemployment rate, very high inflation, and their leader is
worried about the Olympics.
Yeah.
This is not.
How do you feel, Ian, about the long jump? Is that another curveball?
The tables have turned onto Ian Sachs.
Okay. Well, first, let me address your first questions. This is not politics on the fly.
Oh.
This is not economics on the fly.
Sports on the fly.
This is sports on the fly. So now we'll get to the long jump question. I think it's a very competitive race. There are a lot of people that can win it.
Oh, well, I thought you said it wasn't politics on the fly, Sachs.
Ian, I agree with you, but I just want to know your short list of candidates who you think might win the long jump.
Outside of Cindy.
Well,
Cindy who? What's her last name?
Cindy Lou.
I have to see the qualifiers first.
Oh, okay.
All right, Sachs.
Can I see the qualifiers too?
Yeah, we can all watch the qualifiers together.
Great. You want to ask me about boxing?
No.
Hey, you're the one that brought that up.
Yeah, you tell us. What do you got?
Boxing's a dead sport.
Yeah, fair enough.
I'm sorry. You can't look at it and think that it's, first off, totally true. It took them 5 years to finally get the two biggest guys to come.
Where are they fighting? Are they fighting in Vegas? Pacquiao, Mayweather?
It makes sense for them to fight in Vegas.
Right.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, whatever happened to MSG? Isn't that like the thing? Like the world's most famous arena?
That guy Vladimir, the
yeah, because I keep seeing the commercials on the MSG networks.
Yeah, he's.
But wasn't that like the thing back in the day? You fight at MSG?
Well, MSG also used to be the mecca of basketball, and then the Knicks showed up.
Oh, Sachs throwing mad shade right now.
So
Sachs.
we can't really still call it that. And
I guess, but what would be the
boxing-wise-
mecca of basketball? Toronto?
No.
Oh man, we've got a crowd. That is one beautiful bagpipe player named John Bertino. One gorgeous gentleman out there playing his bagpipes. You're gorgeous. Yeah, there you go. Look, he loves it. He's reeling it all in. Anyway,
he loves the attention.
He loves it. All right, Sachs, take us in. What are we doing first? Can we do NHL last?
Okay. All right. I was thinking we'll start off. That's the big story, but build up.
No, we'll build it up.
We'll build up. Okay.
Nobody's watching anyway.
That fair enough.
They're just gonna watch the segments later.
Yeah. So okay, you want to go a little basketball? Or
We'll do a little NBA.
Okay. All right.
Or do you want to do a little MLB? Lou, what do you want? You're the guest here.
Let's go with the NBA.
NBA for
NBA.
Lou. We'll squeeze baseball
Ian,
in the middle.
Is that okay with you?
Being that basketball is my number one sport, I can't
You have
say
to do
no.
it number one.
So
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Numero uno is NBA.
All right.
Playoffs starting tomorrow.
Wizards Nets, baby.
Wizards Nets. Do the Nets have a chance?
The true underdog story, not even a slight chance. Not like it's a waste of time. I don't know why. It's a waste of people's money. It's a waste of people's time. It's a waste of TV spots. You could be showing a rerun of Blue Bloods on TNT, or a rerun of Friends, or a rerun of My Birth, because that is a more attractive scene than Wizards Nets. It's just not going to be fun.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Every series is 7 games.
If best 4 out of 7.
Right.
Yeah.
So baseball's the only one that's condensed.
Yeah,
right?
baseball's the
Yeah.
only 3 out of 5.
Basketball used to be 3 out of 5 for the first round, and then they made it 4 out of
It's
7.
just so long.
Yeah.
Like, I don't get it. Basketball
That's-
is a very physical sport.
Well, do you
because-
feel the same way about the NHL?
No, because I think they're different. Because the NHL guys can go into their late 30s, their early 40s. Basketball, you got guys like Kobe Bryant, they're tapping out mid 30s. So it's obviously very physically demanding. LeBron James has played over 50,000 minutes, if I believe so, 50 or 60,000.
That's nuts.
Incredible. The guy's barely even close to 30. So you're looking at that, and then you make them play 7 games 3 times if they want to win the championship.
4.
Four
Four
if they
times,
want.
yeah. So that's impossible. 28 games, and these superstars are playing close to 40 minutes a game. So I just don't think it's good for the sport. You got to protect your players. We're in a golden age right now of basketball. So
Yeah, I think of all the sports, basketball's in its biggest upswing.
Yeah.
Right, player-wise, talent-wise.
every
I think
team
this
has
is as good as it
arguably
gets.
One superstar.
Well,
Because I can name players on every team, and I normally can't do that. Give me a team.
Memphis Grizzlies.
Randolph.
Interesting choice.
Zach Randolph, baby.
Sacramento Kings.
They don't exist. Not in the real
The
league.
answer is, what is Boogie Cousins?
What is Boogie Cousins? No, who is Boogie Cousins?
Who is Boogie Cousins? But no, Sax, like you look at the top players, and you know what's really frightening? Everybody went to Kentucky. It's really scary.
that is
yeah,
scary.
it went to Kentucky, and now the 10 of the 15 best players in the draft coming
This
up
draft is going to be nuts,
is
too.
Kentucky.
Right. So.
And then I'm going to be able to name somebody on the Kings.
Well, yeah. I mean.
Yeah.
Where'd they finish? The 11, 12? In the West?
Something
They
like
got
that.
they got a difficult situation, but
Yeah, the West is rough.
Yeah. Well, I think that since basketball is in the golden age, that's why it's 4 out of 7, because they can make so much
Yeah.
money. Because, yes, even though the Nets and Hawks is going to be a blowout, Nets might get a game.
Yeah,
if
but
they're
you
lucky,
know what?
they
The-
might
the-
get a game.
The annoying part is that we are. I agree. The talent golden age is here, right? We've got guys like Steph Curry who are just going up there chucking up 77 straight 3-pointers, and then Klay Thompson, who's like a fake superstar, is putting up 50
just as
points in a
good.
quarter. Like what? So we've got the talent golden age, but then you go over to the East and you watch teams like the Nets make the playoffs. They have no business being in the postseason.
No, the Nets.
And no team underneath 6 in that conference has any business being in the postseason.
Well,
Right.
guys, what's interesting? You look at the East and the West, and the West is much smaller in market. You have the Thunder. You have you have all the California teams. It might be a little bigger. You have the Clippers, the Lakers, but the East are all the big markets, and you got to wonder: is free agency the wrong answer when it comes to the NBA?
Well, it's got to be through draft. I mean, we've seen that.
Yeah, every single
guys-
team in the West who's flourishing all through drafts.
Yeah, and especially the Wizards as well.
Unless you get LeBron James, but that well's going to dry up really quick.
Yeah, they can't.
Yeah, and LeBron's never going.
That can't
to
be the
West.
game plan. Game plan can't be wait for, like at me in NBA 2K14 when you made me
Right.
wait for LeBron and then he opted into his contract and then I was an awful team.
Never do that.
So it's a crapshoot if you're waiting for LeBron or if you're waiting for a player like Kobe to come out of nowhere
I don't think you wait for LeBron unless you're the Knicks, and I think they finally realized that
or
you
Swaggy P.
can't Swaggy P. I would not go for Swaggy P.
I want a Swaggy P all over my team.
But it should be interesting. You have I don't know if you guys saw Adam Silver. They're going to be instituting HGH testing. I don't know. If
Yeah,
that's a problem.
strong.
I don't know if that's a problem. I would assume in all sports, everybody's trying to take an advantage. But again, as I
How
said
much can
before-
that help?
Well, when you
I mean, the regeneration, right?
your
It's quicker
knees,
recovery
your
periods.
Joints, you're a little old. It gets you the other year.
I don't know.
I don't know if it's a problem or not. That and the salary cap expanding.
Well, we'll find out if it's a problem with the testing.
Yeah, I guess we will.
I want to see.
I mean,
in
if-
front of
if-
Congress, that'd be interesting.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, right. Henry Mejia in front of
If it's
Bobby
not an
Jindal.
issue, then players should be fine with it.
Well, they wouldn't be doing it if it wasn't an issue, Ian.
Right.
That's true. Yeah,
You know,
I mean,
does the NHL test that?
they do.
heavily?
I don't know if they test that heavily. I know they test. I know one of the last people to ever get caught was like 2007, 2008. It was Sean Hill, who played for the Islanders, and he had like nasty acne. He looked like a teenager, and he was like 44. Like he was gross.
It's different. It's a different sport.
It was weird. I didn't know like what that was about. And he signed one of my pucks, and I want to get rid of it because nobody wants a Sean Hill autograph.
You'll have to pay them to take it.
Yeah, I will, and I have no money.
Exactly.
Rough life.
NBA, is realignment the answer? Do we realign the conferences?
It's just impressive that the West has gotten so good.
I mean, you need to spread that out.
But it's just the mindset.
I think it was, what was it? Teams up until the 12 seed in the West would have made the playoffs in the East.
Yeah, I believe it. The Nets are how many games under 500?
Seven. I think they finished
Yeah.
7.
Boy, why does that happen every year?
I don't know.
Gotta be, and the East has all the big markets. And now that TV contracts are coming in, it's different because back then when you had big guys like the Magic, the Johnsons, the Birds, the Jordans, they all wanted to go to the big markets. But now you have Kevin Durant's playing in Oklahoma City. You got people like Derek Cousins, who I don't know, he might not stay, but Sacramento. You got people in Memphis. So like Marc Gasol might not go to New York. 5 years ago, that was a huge deal. You got the big contract, go to New York. Now, why not leave Memphis?
Yeah.
He's got a full packed out house. They sell out every game. He's got a great fan base. So what's the whole draw?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
Similar to baseball, you can make the argument.
Well, baseball, there's no reason to go to a baseball game. There's just not one reason. There's 82 of them to go to. You can find one to pick.
So
you will
about
never
3,000
sell out.
people.
Yeah, I mean, unless you're going to go 162-0, or unless Matt Harvey's pitching every day, you're not going to sell out if you're the Mets.
But
because there's no reason.
It's very impressive when teams do sell out. Like Cubs a few years ago, the Red Sox. The Red Sox have been sold out since they won the first World Series 15 years ago. That's definitely wrong, but you got to the point. The last decade.
Yeah, we got you.
But it's impressive how teams can still do that. But also their ballparks are a little smaller, so I don't know if that's the answer.
Yeah,
too.
I mean they've started making the ballpark smaller when they rebuild them too. Citi Field is 20,000 seats less than Shea Stadium. Imagine what that place would look like right now.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree.
Empty.
But
Well, that's why football is so popular. There are 8 games at home a year.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Even basketball, 40 games at home a year. 41.
Yeah. Same thing in the NHL.
But you gotta look for the social aspect of both of those sports you just mentioned. Basketball. When you look at the people who are going to be buying these tickets, you either have families or you have people who you're just going out with a colleague to a game. Football is an entire day's build-up.
Mm-hmm.
You go at 1 o'clock, you go at 9 a.m. and you start tailgating. It's fun.
Right.
Like you said, Ian, there's 8 games a year. It's probably gonna be at night. It's on the weekend where a majority of the people don't work.
Yeah.
And it's fun. It's
late afternoon.
Right. It's over in 2.5 hours. It's very easy to understand. Constant action. Hockey too. It's over in an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Basketball, you can hang out. You can sit. You can walk. You can talk. It's more of a social thing. People go to the Knicks games just to be seen.
It's a marketing thing because baseball needs to be a family sport. That's
Nobody
what it needs
wants to
be.
Baseball, besides the people who sit behind the home plate, and they're always hidden. They're wearing hats.
Yeah, and it needs to, but
there.
it needs to be a family sport. You need to market it to families, and that's what was so interesting about the regeneration of the hockey market was that they remarketed it as a family sport,
and basketball
something where you can bring your young kids,
with the youngsters,
something where you can take your wife, your husband, your 2 kids, your little boy, your little girl at 5 or 6 years old, and they can have a good time. Because every team has a mascot. Yeah. Every team has something fun to do on the concourse. Every game has less fights. They made it a family sport.
Right.
And we've seen how much better the fans are reacting to that.
Right.
And I don't see baseball doing that. They've lost that big time, especially because young kids don't have the attention span to sit through Steve Traxel afternoon at the ballpark.
That's a throwback. Yeah.
Takes 8 hours to deliver a first pitch.
I did read something that games on average are 8 minutes shorter this season, but
until you bring that up until 20 or 30 minutes, it's not going to make a difference.
It's all about the greed. It was what was happening in the world. Half the teams felt like they needed new stadiums because all the money was cheap.
Right.
Like the Mets. Did the Yankees need one?
No. No.
They could have, did they need one that was exactly the same as their old one and naming it Yankee Stadium? I don't know.
I think they could have renovated.
Did the Mets need one? Maybe.
Yeah, that thing shook a lot.
I don't know. Marlins, do they really need a new stadium?
Not with
I
that
don't know.
sculpture out there.
When the
that
town,
nasty thing.
When the city goes, we'll buy you a stadium. Like, why are you doing that?
Yeah, because we signed Jose Reyes, and you know what? Now we're going to trade him.
Yeah, I'm gonna trade him to Toronto.
Gosh,
So
Matt,
Toronto's
how
doing
mad would
fine.
you have been down there?
In
If you were a
Miami?
taxpayer in Miami and they said, we're going to build you a new stadium, we're going to bring you a winning baseball team, we're going to sign Jose Reyes, we're going to sign Giancarlo Stanton to a monster contract, we're going to sign Mark Burley, Emilio Bonifacio, we're going to get this team together and we are going to be a powerhouse, and then trade it.
Well, I feel like you gotta be a little passive if you're a Floridian sports fan, because the Heat are average. LeBron comes in for 4 years or so, he wins 2 championships, and then leaves, and you're like, okay, that's fine. We still have Dwayne Wade. But that's another issue. Nobody wants to go to Heat games. You have the best team in the league, and nobody was going. Marlins, I don't know. Dolphins, we'll see.
Well, I think that's the culture of Miami. I mean, think about it. In 2011,
right.
Game 6,
Everybody left.
everyone left, and then the Heat came back, tied the game, won it in overtime.
Right.
Everyone was running back into the stadium. They wouldn't let people back into their seats.
And good for them.
That's the type of fans you have.
I don't know what the hell they were thinking. There is no re-entry anywhere.
Yeah.
You can't even re-enter the Heinz Center if you leave.
And
I blame Tom Moran for that.
It is his fault.
And if you buy tickets to an NBA Finals game,
You stay.
you stay.
Oh, yeah.
I don't care if it's the team that you hate the most, and they're gonna win the championship
Oh, you
over
stay.
your favorite team, and they're blowing them out, and it's an absolutely disgusting game. You can't bear to watch it anymore. You paid so much for those tickets. You stay.
Yeah. I mean,
You-
that's the culture.
Do you see Green Bay Packer fans leaving if the Packers are definitely done in the playoffs?
I mean, after that botched onside kick, I think some of them made their way towards the exit.
I'm looking up tickets for the NBA playoffs in small markets. Did you know New
They're
Orleans?
real cheap.
Yeah, New Orleans. They play in the Smoothie King Center.
How much? How much for one ticket?
Well, I got conference quarters. Looking at
'Cause
game
last
6,
year-
they are playing the Warriors.
Last year
so-
at the Barclays was a 3-6 matchup between the Raptors, right?
We'll look at the Barclays because
And the Barclays last year was $30. For I think it was game. The Nets were 6 seed, so I think it was game 3, game 4.
I'm looking game 4. Well, Barclays Center is massive. Looking at it
For
right now
basketball,
from the
yeah.
map.
Not so much for hockey.
You could get floor seats, section 25 for in the 300s. You could get
It's not bad.
seats in the 200s for 65, and
See?
all the way at the top you can get them for 50.
$65 for a playoff game? Are you nuts?
Yeah, let's look at a.
You nut? I paid double, triple that to go to the Coliseum.
San
that
Antonio
sticky
game
place.
4, Clippers versus the Spurs.
That's going to be a fun series.
Oh, yeah.
If there's a fun series, it's
Also
that
very
one.
affordable. You can sit at the top for $60.
That's not bad.
Why are the Islanders games so much money?
Because they haven't made the playoffs
Yeah,
in
it's an
20 years.
The last stadium too.
And it's the last year at the place.
and it's New York.
And it's New York. I mean, if people forget that
Yeah.
about Long Island and about the Islanders.
Well, just
they
really
are
quick,
in a New York market.
Air Canada Center Conference semis for Toronto Game 3. The top rows are going for 300.
Yeah, and
But
they're
it's
the
a lot-
only
lot
they're the
smaller.
only team
In Canada,
right now
yeah.
in Canada. I mean, for Toronto fans, that's it. There's no Maple Leafs to worry about.
Yeah.
You know, the Blue Jays are just getting started, so who cares?
Right.
Because you got 162 freaking games to get to.
It is a little ridiculous. You know, people look at the how are the Dodgers doing right now?
I think they're good.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're off to a hot
But
start.
you'll have such a opposite effect that they'll be awful, and people will say like write them off right away. But look at the Spurs.
Yeah, remember last year they all wanted to fire Don Mattingly after the game and a half.
They're absolutely ridiculous. The whole firing your coach in the first month
It's
is just
stupid.
mind-boggling.
Oh.
Then who wants to be the guy who comes in? You're just throwing away the
Yeah,
season.
there's no way you can turn that around once
Yeah.
you know. So
When you fire the coach, you're admitting it's a lost season.
Yes.
No matter what point you are.
I mean,
whether-
unless you're the Ottawa Senators, fired their coach. At that point, they were 23 points behind the New York Islanders. They finished 3 points behind the Islanders and made the playoffs. That's nuts.
Yeah.
Partially because the Islanders had an awful last month of the season, but also partially because Ottawa was a total.
I don't know what that means, Ian.
Jar Jar Binks. I don't know.
Good team.
Yeah, good. There you go.
Yeah.
They were animals. They were all over
Ken,
the
you
place.
also have to remember this is radio. People
So
can't-
I need words.
Yeah.
I don't do words. Words aren't my forte.
We'll give you a few minutes to think of some words.
Thank you. We'll do baseball when we come back.
Take a quick break.
Talk about the first place Metsies, baby.
We'll do a little Mets. We'll do a little baseball in
Talk
general.
a little last place Yankees.
And then we'll get over to hockey because I know that's what you guys are here for.
Oh, yeah.
This is Jessie Ledoux, Miss International 2013 Class